Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Jaipur Dialogue USA and Jaipur Dialogue. I'm Vibhuti Jha, returning after about 2 weeks. As you know, I had gone to India for participating in two very important events. One was the Jaipur Dialogue annual event, the Mahakumbh of Nationalists, which went off very well. And I hope you participated and saw what was going on. And I had the privilege of moderating two sessions, and I will try to have those two sessions uploaded on Jaipur Dialogue USA. But should you want to watch it, please watch it on Jaipur Dialogue on the Jaipur Dialogue portal. Having said that, I'm starting this conversation today for a very good reason, because a lot of things happened. I was in a state of confusion where to re-begin the whole, what we do here. But today I want to begin with a very specific topic called Hamas and the Democrats. This is very important. It's my personal belief. It's my personal belief that every disaster offers an opportunity to improve things, make things better, or to respond better at that. The Hamas attack of October 7th in Israel is something that we all know about. The brutality, the tragic way they took the hostages, and the surprise element of the attack really shocked the world. However, what is important to bear in mind is how the democracies of the world around us suddenly saw an upsurge and the revolt and the protestations of the Hamas sympathy by the people in various parts of the world, including the college campuses in America, including the banner going up, Free Palestine, including the despicable call of from river to the water, to the sea, virtual annihilation of the Jews, of a particular race, a country. This is very serious. And that's something that all democracies in the world must pay attention to that. From the Brooklyn Bridge in New York to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, to the streets of Chicago, to the streets of Manhattan, to various parts of the world, there were protests that there should be immediate ceasefire. People talked about a very dangerous word, tricky word, that Israel's response was disproportionate to what happened to that. These are issues that we must focus on as democracies, where freedom is the way we operate our life. Respect and respect for fellow beings is considered very paramount in the way we lead our life. But what happened here? The Democrats are now, in the Democratic Party, particularly here in the United States, are clearly divided. Two of the prominent Democrats, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, the honorable Congress people in the US Congress, began to threaten President Biden that if you continue to support Israel, we will not vote for you. We will go against you. Think about it. It's so very significant that all the streets, everybody was talking about free Palestine and sympathy with Hamas. So if Hamas is representative of the Palestinian voice, and if Hamas is representative of the Islamic voice as their wing, doesn't it mean that we need to take that matter seriously? Shouldn't we do that? And that is what is important for us to today focus on. The Democratic Party, as of yesterday, is clearly divided. Clearly divided because now the people realize that it is a one-sided demand for killing of Jews and elimination of Jews and Israel by Hamas and their supporters. So whether you are a moderate Muslim, liberal Muslim, or ex-Muslim, the challenge is to the entire humanity in this matter. How can any one particular group belonging to any particular religion demand annihilation of one particular group of people, regardless of which part of the world you live in? That's totally deplorable and despicable. And people in the civilized world must arise, awaken, assert, and act on this matter. My favorite 4 A's that I often talk about is that if not now, when are we going to act about it? Because today it is Jews and Israel. Tomorrow it will be Hindus and India. It's not far away. If you look at the things that are happening around, now a very important part here, again, it is reported, it is on video. Thanks to technology, we get to know things much better today than ever did before. So news travels faster than the speed of lightning, as I often say here. It is true. So now you have a scenario that in the US Department of Homeland Security, there is a person who has tweeted complete annihilation of Jews. She has mocked the entire attack in various tweets, and the US Department of Homeland Security is doing nothing about it, other than saying that the person has been put on administrative leave, which means she's still employed. The point of the matter here is very, very simple. That when people are parading on Brooklyn Bridge to Golden Gate Bridge and stop the traffic in a remarkable defiance of rule of law, calling it their freedom to protest, things are going beyond limits. And that's where जो हिंदी का शब्द है अंकुश डालना पड़ेगा. We have to draw the line. We have to stop pandering to these and appeasing these people that as if they are the victims. Now, each one of us, we have done a program here known as the Hamas Doctrine. The Hamas Doctrine is based on 36 Hamas covenants, which was written in 1988. Think about it, read it if you have time. It's a good document, not very long, but you will know what is in those doctrines and covenants. Because when they demand that we will not settle for a negotiated settlement with the Kafirs, because that will mean surrender, then what exactly are we talking about in terms of negotiation? This is very critical. Because when the criminals and thugs abuse the compassionate nature of our society and the leniency of the rule of law, that's the time when we have to recognize that people need to play the game better. It's very important for us to take it into account. What is also very important is that now the Democratic Party is divided between the lines, right down the middle. Because now the party says this particular stand is untenable. Now the party is also trying to make sure that come 2024 elections, these people must be defeated in the primaries, that they can't represent the party. Because this is inhuman. Forget about the religious differences. They always remain. But this is inhuman to have a group of people who openly propose, openly profess, openly canvass destruction of a religion, destruction of a group of people. It could be anybody. It could be you and I tomorrow. And that's what is important for us to bear in mind. Now, those very people are demanding protection from the party, that they should not be victims of revenge. Think about how the words are used, how the words are played upon. This is very critical for all of us to know. It is awakening call for everybody. Hamas, if they represent Islam, if they represent Palestine, if they represent the cause of people, they have actually ruined the whole thing. News travels faster than the speed of lightning, my friends. So their deeds, the way they had built the labyrinth of the tunnels in Gaza, think about what was their plan. This also calls upon the world community, the United Nations Security Council, to determine who supplies the weapons to them. Those complicated weapons, those sophisticated weapons, who supplied it to them? So when criminals and thugs exploit the rule of law and the compassion of the society, it's time to tighten the belt and address the problem as it exists. I don't need to tell you the individual events, but children, women, raped, annihilated, brutalized, those videos are out. And they have been put to the US Congress, and everybody knows. And those videos are so violent that if you and I were to see that, it might enrage us. And as a result of which, they are kept hidden. They are kept out of public viewing. But those who have seen, those who have seen those videos, their narrative, if you read on social media, you will find that that is absolutely inhuman, despicable act of a group of people who want to annihilate you and I because we don't belong to that faith. This is very important for us, all of us, to awaken. The Democratic Party is struggling within itself. I must applaud Hakeem Jeffries, who is the leader of the Democratic Party in the US Congress, the minority leader, who openly said that Israel has a right to defend itself, and if those people who are representing Palestinians are themselves illegitimate, how can we legitimize their cause and their arguments? Thank you, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries. I applaud you for that boldness. But now the country has awakened. Eventually, and I'm glad about this, the world is now recognizing this reality that your and my lives in any democracy can be appended and destroyed by a certain group of people who resort to violence at the drop of a hat. That's the only language they understand, unfortunately. Because if your tenet says negotiation must not be entered into or accepted with kafirs and those people who are non believers, then what exactly are we talking about? Its time is now to speak up, stand up, and take the matter in your hands in the terms of law, that you cannot take our laws for granted. Thank you very much for joining. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel. And from today onwards, I promise you I'll be back almost every day. Satyameva Jayate, truth must triumph, truth will triumph, and for the truth to triumph, we have to stand up for the truth. Thank you very much for joining us today.